Hi there. This is going to be about angelical magic and how you can it can create different patterns in your mind. And you can create new patterns or ways of learning. And one example is that I've tried a lot of times that works for me is, and this is individual for all of you, but just try out different things. Study for 16 to 20 hours non-stop a day, and then you meditate and contemplate in bed. Or try studying for 20 hours a day for 72 hours straight. And then you take a 72 hours break where you meditate and contemplate and go out for a walk and that kind of thing. And one thing that I really rely on, that is studying intensely before I go to bed. That is when I put the effort in, that I do all my studying before bed, and then during my dreams the angels can adjust there. I'm sorry, I'm sniffling, I got a bad cold. And something that really works for me, that is experimenting with fasting. When I'm studying, if I'm full in my stomach, my memory is not so bright. But if I'm hungry and I battle that hunger and keep on focusing, that's when I get the clarity. But you should also consider if you have a diabetics or something else or other ailments. But you can try that you study with a full stomach, and then you try with something when you start to feel hungry and you start studying then and decide to study. So it is just experimentation, since it's different for everyone. And I use a lot of arrows or the format of the tree of life or other structures that apply to taking notes. Sometimes I might draw a flower or something and fill in the petals, the stem and the leaves of the flower. Just trying different ways to remember things. And I like using the maps of the universe, like the planets and the stars and things like that, so that I get that sense of why I'm doing it. Astronomy, astrological houses and so on, that like the same format but without that information. And I used to practice a lot of writing from left to right and from right to left, up to down and down to up and diagonals, etc. And before I go to bed, I go through my mind and I go through what I studied that day, starting with what was the last thing I studied and then going back into the morning. So I always change those things up so that my memory keeps on being active. Instead of thinking that what I did from morning to evening, I can switch that up and go from evening to morning and other things. And I do that also before sleep, a couple of times a week. And I think that's something within before sleep, that you reverse your thinking patterns and sleep. It really helps to aid up there. And when you're working with children or animals or people with amnesia or something, or dementia, to connect to them, you study how they are learning and perceiving things, and then you try to think in the same way yourself. And that also develops new openings. And if there is an illness or something, they usually have an angel who are guiding them. So you might receive the messages when you're helping others from a very different way than when you usually get your own. So if you're helping an animal, you might feel and sense and smell like the animal, or think that you don't like something that you really like. Or it might be a child that suddenly you are afraid of pink elephants in your dreams. You might get these little weird things going on there. Or with somebody going with dementia or something, that they might travel through time in their memory, and they might be living their 6-year-old life even though they are 80. And I just find it easiest that when they enter into the time travel, as I call it, you just follow along. So if they believe that they are children, I answer like a friend of theirs in a childish way, trying to get to a connection there. So, and also I created a website or WordPress, the classic angels and magic.com, last night. So it's up now. It's a simple thing, and I thought I would try if I could write there some rituals, since I'm running out of space on my phone, and so I have to create some way to create with this phone. I love you all, and have a magical day, and try out different things. And if you have a way that works for you, please leave a comment about that. Bye for now.